Welcome to my channel. Support our channel by subscribing. Your subscription helps us grow and create more intriguing content like this. Now, let's dive into today's story. Emma was raised in a small town where simplicity and loyalty were the values she grew up with. Her love for design led her to a career as a graphic designer in the bustling city, where she found creative freedom and a thriving social life. Emma's personality was one of quiet strength. She loved deeply, laughed easily, and cared for those around her with genuine warmth. 2 years ago, Emma had attended a high-profile charity gala hosted by a friend. That's where she met Liam, a tall, sharp-dressed man with an air of confidence. Liam, 31, came from a well-to-do family, and his career in investment banking had him living a fast-paced, glamorous life. To Emma, he was like something out of a dream. Liam had that elusive charm, and his attentiveness made Emma feel seen, special, and wanted. They began dating, and over time, he swept her off her feet with grand gestures. A weekend in Paris, exclusive dinner reservations, and thoughtful little surprises that always seemed to brighten her day. When he proposed, it felt like the natural culmination of their love. Her family adored him, and her best friend Sarah, while initially cautious, eventually warmed up to Liam's magnetic charm. Emma was convinced she had found her forever. As their wedding day approached, Emma could barely contain her excitement. She was consumed by planning every little detail, picturing the life they would build together. But beneath the fairy tale exterior, a storm was brewing, one she couldn't yet see. It was a quiet Tuesday evening. Emma was at home, sitting cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by wedding invitations, place cards, and a small mountain of DIY decorations she had lovingly created. She was humming to herself, lost in thought, when Liam entered the room. His usual warm smile was absent, replaced by a tense, unreadable expression. "Emma," he began, his voice steady but strangely hollow. "There's something I need to discuss with you." Emma looked up, noticing the unusual seriousness in his tone. She pushed aside the place cards, her brow furrowing. "Sure, what's going on?" Liam sat across from her, taking a deep breath. He struggled to meet her gaze. I think we should consider having an open marriage," he said, the words tumbling out with a forced calmness. Emma's face dropped, her breath hitching in shock. "An open marriage?" she repeated, as though the words were foreign. Her heart was pounding so loudly she could barely hear his explanation as he went on, talking about new experiences and keeping things fresh. "What does that even mean, Liam?" she asked, her voice cracking with disbelief. "Why would you suggest this now? We're days away from our wedding. This doesn't make any sense." But Liam's responses only grew more vague. He avoided direct eye contact, mumbling phrases like exploring other connections and embracing freedom. Emma felt like she was drowning, each of his words a wave pushing her under. She wanted to scream, to make him understand how hurtful this was. But a voice in her head whispered, "Something isn't right. This isn't about freedom. There's more he isn't telling me." The next morning, Emma woke up feeling hollow. She replayed the conversation in her mind, but every attempt to understand only led her to more questions. She decided to confide in her best friend Sarah, who was as shocked as she was. "Emma, I don't want to alarm you, but this isn't normal," Sarah warned, her voice low but serious. "It sounds like he's trying to cover something up. Have you noticed anything odd with him lately?" Emma admitted she'd seen subtle changes. His distant behavior, the mysterious work dinners, and the way he guarded his phone like it was a lifeline. Fueled by Sarah's suspicions and her own growing unease, Emma decided to investigate. Late one night, she found herself pacing the living room, clutching Liam's phone in her hand. Her heart raced as she unlocked it and began scrolling through his messages. There, in the recent chats, was a conversation with a woman named Cassandra, a name that sent a cold chill down her spine. Their messages weren't just casual work talk. They were littered with intimate phrases, inside jokes, and mentions of private meetups. Emma's hands trembled as she read Cassandra's last message. "Can't wait for our getaway next week. Think she'll ever find out?" Emma's mind went blank. Betrayal sank into her bones, the kind that felt raw and unrelenting. The next morning, Emma confronted Liam, her voice barely holding back the hurt and anger that boiled within her. "How long have you been seeing Cassandra?" she demanded. Liam's expression hardened. Instead of apologizing, he sighed as though he were the one inconvenienced. "Emma, maybe if you were a bit more open-minded, I'd understand," he said, cold and dismissive. "I thought the open marriage idea would help us both avoid feeling trapped. But clearly, you're too traditional to handle that kind of freedom." Emma's heart shattered. She realized this wasn't a plea for openness. It was a cover for a relationship he'd already started. Liam wasn't offering her a choice. He was offering her an ultimatum. Devastated, Emma went to Sarah, who listened to every detail of the betrayal. Sarah's anger was palpable, her loyalty to Emma unwavering. "You can't let him get away with this," Sarah said, her eyes flashing with determination. "This was supposed to be your dream wedding. You need to take back control, Em." That's when the idea took shape. Emma knew she couldn't simply walk away. She needed to make a statement. Together, they came up with a plan that would expose Liam's deceit to everyone who thought he was an honorable man. Emma would cancel the wedding, but she would do so in a way that left no room for Liam to twist the narrative. The next day, Emma crafted a heartfelt letter that explained why the wedding was off. She shared the painful truth of Liam's betrayal, his callous proposal for an open marriage, and his secret relationship with Cassandra. She sent this letter to every wedding guest, knowing it would spark conversations and reveal the truth to everyone they knew. On what would have been her wedding day, Emma arrived at the venue, dressed simply but elegantly. She was accompanied by Sarah, who stood by her side as a pillar of strength. Instead of a wedding ceremony, she held a small gathering with her closest friends and family, explaining her decision with dignity and grace. She looked out at the familiar faces, some tearful, some shocked, all filled with empathy. Liam was nowhere to be found. Word had spread quickly, and in a matter of hours, his carefully curated reputation was crumbling. He tried calling Emma, but she ignored every attempt, focusing instead on the support and comfort of those who truly cared about her. In a single day, Liam's life began to unravel. His friends turned against him, colleagues whispered about his scandalous behavior, and Cassandra, no longer shielded by secrecy, left him, humiliated by the public exposure. In the months that followed, Emma began to heal. She threw herself into her work, rekindled friendships she had neglected during her relationship, and rediscovered herself in ways she never thought possible. Her heartbreak slowly transformed into empowerment, and eventually she found love again with someone who cherished her for the loyal, kind-hearted woman she was. She realized that Liam's betrayal, while painful, had freed her from a life of lies. She had emerged stronger, wiser, and with a newfound respect for her own worth. Thank you for watching this story of love, betrayal, and self-worth. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more powerful tales. And let us know in the comments, how would you have handled this situation if you were in Emma's shoes? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, stay tuned for more stories that inspire and captivate.